shouldn't even put glass there, but we didn't know very much.
Well, what do you mean? You can, without glass, you would never stay here in the winter time. It will be so cold. This is double pane glass, you know. So it keeps the heat, you know. You catch both of us?
Yep. I have both of them. Okay, let's start talking.
Let's see, we got room for.
No, I can sit. I can bring a chair.
Yeah. She brings chair.
Don't worry about me.
Be careful, don't.
Okay, here's kind of where, here's some,
No, we want to take off from where we were at in the story.
No,
Is
yes.
it kind of sequential then?
well, I also want to make sure we get all of it.
Yeah.
We start in the middle of this, I'd like to just start at some point.
Юля, принеси мені вина. Я буду feel better. Там на столі ще стоїть.
You're recording right now.
Yeah,
Так.
but you don't have to worry, it's just.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to us.
I know. You.
Yeah.
All right, you shoot the question.
Okay, Bev, you go ahead and ask that.
Oh,
Since you wanna
I just thought we should pick up in the story where you left off.
Where you wanna
Well,
start?
no, if you want to, use that for something, then you would probably have
I
to
have
start
to start from
from the
beginning.
very beginning.
Yeah, not from the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
You know, you have
Yeah.
to start. You wanna know
We can
when
have a more
when you
abbreviated-
wanna have a story, Igor story.
Okay.
Where
this-
we met.
this Story, oh, okay.
Okay,
You
here are
wanna
my
go all
questions.
the way back?
How?
Here are my questions. I'll give them all here. in the
Yes,
order here.
that's good.
You know, how did you meet my parents? And then the relationship of mother and, yeah, we'll get to mother and Dusia in Lichachoyev,
In the hometown.
in the hometown. You're going to Germany. Also, the escaping from the Russians.
Yeah.
Your experiences in Germany. Living together after the war in the, no something? That looks good. Some more water.
Sure.
Okay. Living together after the war. Also, Mother would tell us some stories about your escaping from,
Yeah.
like when you found the money on the train.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's Nina found.
You see,
Yeah.
we don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Also about hiding. So, if we could just maybe start from the very beginning, and you talk to Beverly, okay? Because I might jump up.
But no.
I might just jump up a few times.
Почекай, Віктор.
Sure.
Ти хочеш, you see, like about Igora, we met him in Germany. And Nino I met from home.
That's
now.
right.
See, this is two
You
different.
knew her from home, not only met her, you knew her at home.
I mean home. And Ігоря ми ті в Німеччині.
Right. The boys
So,
were friends together, and they met my mother and you.
Yeah, they met their girlfriends.
Yes.
Well, all right, let's start from the beginning.
Okay, very good. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's,
about Ігоря.
well, as far as starting from Ihor, I met Ihor in Magdeburg in Germany, and sometime it must be in 1944, I would say, early 44. Yes, please, yes, just, I really know more than you do. And in 1944. And we met, he worked in a different factory than I did, but in the same hometown, in that same town, Magdeburg. And I met him through, because we had the Ukraine club down there in that Magdeburg town. And on the weekend or even evening sometime, we had the chance to go into that club and sort of talk and even have a beer and stuff like that. And we had an orchestra there, and that orchestra it was a small orchestra, but Ihor was playing mandolin down there. And, yeah, not banjo, mandolin. Mandolin and banjo is different. Yes, and
I heard him talk about a mandolin.
yeah, yes, it was. Nobody had a banjo in Europe. They had mandolin or guitar, but anyway, he was playing mandolin. in that orchestra, and we sort of get to know each other, and we befriended very good, you know. And on the weekend or so, we went. They even had the dances in that club and stuff like that. So Ihor and me went down there. Thanks, Julie. And then, you know, after we chum around for a while, then we came across and we met our girlfriends. They were, you know, working in a different, the same area in town, in Magdeburg, but in a different factory. They work. Dusia and Nina work in shoe factory. In not too far away from our place, and when we met our girls, and they were really wild girls. Bunch of wild girls. We were tame girl. We were tame guys, you know. But they were.
That's not true.
I am talking right now.
But don't say that.
Nobody was wild down there at that time. I'm just kidding. But it was behaving like young people behave, you know. And we used to go to a park or to go to. I knew quite a few people. Dusia and Nina didn't know very many people because they were always.
We were us.
They were.
We're not allowed to go to Chicana. When they were there, we're not supposed to go. That's people from Galicia,
from Western Ukraine.
Western Ukrainian, and we can even go to the show. If boys take us to the show, then
movie?
we go.
The movie.
Yeah.
We have to take that Ost.
Sticker,
Yes,
Yeah.
sticker, and then when
That's
we
what
come
I mean.
back
They
home,
were.
we have to put back.
That's what I mean. They've been wild, you know.
We're not wild. They
Because-
don't even let us
because
come
this
to,
is the-
to
I
tell
know
us to
this-
our exhibition.
I know that. What I said is removing the os when you were supposed to wear it all the time, that was very dangerous thing because
That's dangerous.
because
When you
if
want
they
to go
caught
someplace.
you, and then they you know they can throw you in jail for that, for you know, sort of camouflaging yourself, you know, by removing that os. And
Yeah,
Polish
yes.
people used to wear P.
Oh, we have lots of time with Nina.
And that's what I mean. That was a risky thing to do. But you know, our young people always take a risk, you know, and so, and then eventually one, I don't know exactly how, but we met Dusia and Nina. They were always chumming around, you know.
When you want me to tell you that when us met, when you try to phone someplace in the
And
booth,
they didn't know how to
telephone
use.
booth, when we don't know how to dial,
They
and he
didn't
was
know.
watching, and he come and tell us. Well, we
They-
try to phone to.
She did.
We try to phone to our factory, to our boss,
Tell him you'll be home.
and he was watching.
Yeah, that's right. They tell him that because there was a guard in there, and you tell him that they'll be later, they'll be laid on, and they were, you know, trying
We were fooling around with
fooling
that.
around with that in a telephone booth, you know. And I came down there, and Ihor, I think, and I said, "What you guys doing here, girls?" Oh,
Why you stupid around, Zanana?
we were trying to dial our bosses
They were
there.
watching us.
Well, that's okay. And
We're young, we're nice looking.
and so that's
That's beautiful, what? Yeah.
but then I teach them how to dial down there, and then I said, where you live, where you work, and they say we work over here. It was on a block away from their factory, you know, and they were on the main street. They say there, and where you live, or we live there. And then I said, well, we'll go with you down there to your place. you couldn't go into where they lived because
No.
they were strict. They wouldn't let anybody, to go into that camp. That wasn't a camp. It was a old, some kind of a marmalade or jam factory. But
No, she used to have
but yes, she was producing, marmalade. Quite a few people worked there.
But
And,
we work in different
but they
factory and live because our chef don't have a place to keep us for
And-
3
You
girls.
use the marmalade to
yeah, and
sew the shoes together.
yeah.
Yeah, no, she have 10 girls working in that marmalade factory. And our boss, he only have 3 girls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
so
said,
you
but
shared-
we used to live
shared.
in another camp. But that camp, they said, for Ostarbeiter, it's too good. They took us from there. And it was another camp, big place, in same area where we were work. And there's a girls live from there. And I said to boss, we want to stay with those girls. And boss said, no, those girls is no good. I'm gonna give you.
They
the
they
better
work
ones."
for Coca-Cola
They
factory.
work for the Coca-Cola. And he give us to that
So they
marmalade.
still had Coca-Cola going?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they have Coca-Cola
During
in our
the war.
factory.
That's nice.
oh
Oh, I
yeah.
hate that Coca-Cola. I still don't like that.
Yeah, I
Coca-Cola.
know, but that's the next.
Was it the original Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Coca-Cola, our factory, right in
In,
Basel,
in,
Wartime Germany.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Americans
Coca-Cola.
were in there.
They produced Coca-Cola there way back,
And all
throughout
those
the
girls
Europe.
from Kiev.
And yeah, and well, anyway, that's what we sort of met, and that was the beginning of our courtship.
Yeah,
And so I knew quite a few guys there because we were more free to go around,
Yeah.
and so lots of time I took, me and Ihor. Ihor was the same thing. I don't know, Ihor didn't wear Ost.
no, Ihor didn't wear it. No. Somehow,
Ihor, no, he didn't wear Ost.
no,
He
we
didn't.
didn't free.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
No, Ihor didn't wear. He's Volynyak, but there's some, he didn't.
He didn't wear Ost as far as that goes. So,
But you did?
oh no,
No,
not.
You didn't either.
I
Mom
did.
did.
Just the
I did.
women, okay.
Yeah, not
Well, just 'cause
woman.
you're from the east.
From a different area.
Okay.
like
Mom
the-
speaks
He,
East
yeah.
German.
My area was, sort of a. It was. You might. What would you say?
That's better, Szczeras.
No, that's all.
No, you wanna light?
Yeah.
Okay, if you wanna stop that thing, then, no,
Just,
different switch.
I
Light,
should-
it's
don't
a
you
one
have to pull
switch.
this string?
No.
No.
Just
Light-
turn the switch. That's all. It'll
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
She's stopping.
stopped.
She's still
Oh,
turned.
but how do you get those lights on?
Oh, those lights. They have another switch there?
No.
No. There is no
How
switch.
come? Come
That's okay.
switch here. You
That's
have,
okay, that's okay. I think
Yeah,
that's
There's
fine.
enough. There is enough light.
There's enough light.
There's
I think
plenty
you
of.
have to pull another
Yeah,
something
but you
there.
pull have
Never
to.
use that
Yeah, I
light.
think you have to pull the switch on the very bottom. No,
Uh,
that's very
well-
bottom.
No, that's a speed.
Let's just leave it alone. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. go ahead.
Anyway. And who used to bring us sugar? We marmalade we steal from the.
No. That's this.
Igor brought the sugar for us?
No, he used to bring the marmalade for you.
No.
Yes,
They made marmalade.
because he was working in a factory that made some kind of a marmalade and honey and all that
But
kind
it's
of a
still
thing.
not- Maybe, but
But it doesn't.
who brought that
and
sugar too? I think they.
Well, just keep that, get in a sequence, when you want to go. Never mind about sugar. We're not talking about sugar right now. We're talking.
Shortage.
we talking. We talking about how we met and how the chronological order. Otherwise, we will get confused and nobody will understand what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm going to edit.
Yeah, I know you'll edit it, but you would have to know what's
Things like.
So we, as I say, we were kind of, chumming around, all four of us. And sometimes some other, we took girls out sometime to, they have a sort of a kind of a fair down in town, or to a movie there, but they would have to remove their host, otherwise they wouldn't let him. Not only they wouldn't let him, but they would stop. Somehow policemen were practically on every,
Those German police.
in every street corners.
They
And
used to have German police. They used to have.
they still have the same.
Still have, but kind of a toll, like and they just you look at that, you get scared. And we remember one time, like Carousel, you see here exhibition, they'd come to Magdeburg, and the Osterbeiter, not supposed to there go. And we take out the Nina and me, we used to always together. We kind of dressed up nicely because our boss always get clothes for us from some people, like, he like us. We don't have his own kids. He always bring material, we make some, and he brings some blouse and shoes we have because we make. And one time I remember he stopped us, the cop stopped us on a bridge, right on the bridge to go to the Carousel. And under that bridge, boats goes, and every time boat goes in that bridge, shake, kind. And that cop stop us. And he stopped us, and he said, where is
Your
Ausweis,
documents,
paper.
documents.
How they sell in German?
Papieren.
Papieren. And we kind of show him Papieren. We have we don't have no paper, nothing. Except we have little paper with our picture. We used to live in, first time when we come to Germany, they put us in the camp where people lives who don't wear the Ost.
Okay.
You see, and
So,
they give us kind of passing, pass, and we show that pass. He looked on that pass. He said, "Where is that green papier? Green papier supposed to be come from Berlin
Yeah.
for all those people who don't wear like Walter." And we said, "All that green papier still coming."
Uh-huh.
And he looked at us, and that boat, that bridge shaking, and I I said to that cop, "Did that bridge shaking or that boat?" Try to kind of get him to forget about. And I said, "No, that paper still coming." And he looked at us, kind of believe us. He said, "Okay, go." He let us. But every time he stopped us like that, and Expo asked me, always keep telling, "We have this one, but paper still coming." Because if you say you're lost, and then when we come home to that where we live, that woman, she was
Before you get home,
before, yeah, and before to that place we live, we have to put again. We have needle and thread.
Oh, you had to sew it on.
Oh, we have to.
yeah,
sew.
show it on, and
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's why she became seamstress.
Okay, that's right.
That wasn't fun, and we come late. We really we have to be in time, and maybe not that window closed.
The windows closed.
When did you meet? In 1944, in which month?
Oh, I imagine it would be sometime in January or something like that.
1944.
Yeah, right. Basically, maybe we knew each other before, but when he started, chumming around, that was in 44, in January sometime.
So both of you were dating and courting
Yeah.
one another at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
We used to. I used to actually all the time I lived in a village, about 7 miles away from where I work and where they work, from that location. So we used to take train all the time. Every morning we took train down to work, and then at 10 o'clock we were supposed to take a train. The last train left at 10 o'clock or 10:20, and it was only 6 miles, but it's still we took train. And where I was there, and but this we every time we had some kind of a party or something like that, we her and Nina, and I knew quite a few people there, and some people had their own private quarters that we can have a party, because you couldn't have a party at camp.
We have a New Year party.
Yeah,
In that factory,
in a
on top,
factory,
remember?
in a factory, yeah. That's when you were
And
drunk.
that was the first New Year.
That's
We
when
were
you
so
got drunk.
hungry, and Ihor have his, I think that was cousin Ihor.
Yes, yeah, Mike, Mikhailo.
Mikhailo, that's Ihor cousin, was
Yeah.
he's tall, skinny.
Yeah.
And he used to go with our friends from our hometown. They used to in Magdeburg. He met her. That's how Ihor said, well, we're going to celebrate New Year party. Where? I asked my boss, chef, and he said, how about we go upstairs where we leave our coats and everything. And our chef was very good. He was a Nazi. He used to wear, but he was so good to us. He don't have his own kids. And we are just the kids. He looked after us like a... And he said, sure. I said, we're going to have our boyfriends. He said, oh, good, So we have both boyfriends, Ihor, you. When we look at that, Muhavo.
Don't talk like that. That's a recording what you mixing. That's
Anyway, and
Jesus
anyway,
Christ.
Ihor and Walter, they brought some moonshine. Kind of, we never drink, in Germany, I never taste that thing. And that moonshine, he covering some kind of, with some fruit or something, and we were hungry. And that Klava, Ihor, cousin, Ihor, cousin, a girl,
Yes,
brought
yes.
I don't know where they got some kind of lentil, with marmalade. I don't know where she made that thing.
Well, that's
Anyway,
not
she
the
brought
point.
that thing, and that she gave that moonshine and that marmalade, that platsky, kind of like a pancake, with the marmalade. And we were so hungry because after work we didn't go to home, because otherwise at home we don't have nothing to eat. They give us 1 potatoes. We work overtime for 1 potatoes. But that was nothing. We kind of were hungry. And then when you have that moonshine, and I got sick. I just got so sick. And that's all my party, of course. I went to bed, and then shock come. I remember our boss came. He said, how's you doing, guys, here? Where's Dusia? And Nina said, Dusia's sleeping there, she's sick. And I remember that first New Year we celebrate that, we just was there it's just a kind of cool celebration, but I remember that. I never forget that because I was sick there. And that was her cousin.
Yes, I know, but that's
Igor's
weird.
cousin, so then that would have been his
I don't
father's
remember what
brother's-
happened to him.
That was his father, brother, son.
Yeah, it's in wartime when he was there. I remember it was nice.
Yeah,
looking.
they always, they went around together,
yeah.
quite a bit. But anyway, this is carrying on a story about Ihor. And so we kind of chum around with him, and then all of a sudden Ihor wasn't there anymore. He
Yeah.
didn't,
What month was that?
well, I really don't remember. I don't exactly.
That was
1944.
summertime.
1944 summer.
Yeah,
No,
that was
I think it's
early.
1945, correct? No,
No, please.
1944.
44, but we kind of get to
Was
know each
summertime.
other either end of 1943 or beginning of 44. That was approximately
Summertime.
that. And after a few months, Ihor wasn't around. So I figure I'll go and find out, what happened. So I went to that factory there, and I knew some guys that worked there. And I said, what happened to Ihor? Where is Ihor? And they say, well, Ihor was arrested.
Arrested, put him in jail.
He is in jail, in concentration camp.
Yeah, oh,
I said, what's happened? Well, they say, well, whatever, I don't know, something like that. It was, as I said, they didn't take very much to get you arrested. You done something a little bit wrong, and they pin you as sabotage. because that's what they figured that all these, Easter or Ostarbeiter, they call them, or people from
Auslanders.
Auslanders, they try to subvert the regime there and doing sabotage. And lots of people were, accused of being break the cup of or dish or something like that, and they figured that it is a sabotage already. And they can put you in jail, and that wasn't like here, as I said, where you can, have a lawyer and have a charge read or stuff like that. They just arrest you, throw you in clink, and that's it. And after a while, every morning they wake you up and line you up down there. And so I said, well, oh yeah, he was arrested about a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago. So we start, you know where he is? Nobody knew, and nobody would, police wouldn't tell you anything. And then somehow we got the word that he was in that concentration camp not too far from our factory. And as I said, I went down there, one afternoon, one morning there, and they were all lined up, marching around three in a row, and about 30 people, and couple, sometimes 3 or 4 guards, were marching them on the street to work, wherever they have any kind of assignment for work. So that group went there, and then I went down there, and sort of from a street, from a distance, I look, and then I recognized Ihor, and I yelled Ihor, and wave, and he waved, because he couldn't stop to talk to me, because they were marching, and there was, and I couldn't talk to him or anything. But anyway, but I knew where he was already, so that was a good sign. And so we knew, everybody knew how tough it is as far as food goes down there and all that. So lots of times I had some, a little bit of bread or something like that, and I go down there. I knew whenever they go to work and whenever they come back to work. Either way, I met them there, and well, not only me, but there was lots of guys that were doing, helping the guys throwing a piece of bread down there to these people that were marching down there. And usually these prisoners, they catch the piece of bread, and you say that you want to go to Ihor or to John, or they hand it over. There wasn't something that they will eat. And so quite often myself and probably some other guys, went and tried to help him out. But we didn't know how long he's going to be there. It carried on for a while there, for about, I bet you 4 or 5 months or maybe more. And we didn't know, but he wasn't moved anywhere else. It was still in the same, because lots of them, they were moving from one concentration camp to the other,
Yeah, but the
And-
Magdeburg почали бомбити.
and then they start bombing the city pretty bad. So they took all these people. There was that concentration camp probably had a couple thousand people, but they were not
Yeah.
marching in the same.
That's what we
They came, say 50 people in one group, and then another group went to the factory. Some went to some other detail, fixing road or whatever. And so nobody knew how long he's going to be or anything, and you couldn't go and visit prisoners down there because there was no visitation at all. So, as I say, well, we find kind of figure, well, nothing you can do about that. And as I say, and then one day I was, walking down the street. Ihor knew where I used to walk down there, and not only me,
They
but
took them to work that one.
yeah,
Because they were not
listen,
working
listen.
from there.
Yes, that's listen. That's
Isn't it Dr. Ostehayu?
No, it's not Rostihayu. That's the way. That's the way. You know, you have to know what's all about. It's not easy to rattle off, and you don't know
Yeah,
what's
he ran,
all.
when he ran away,
No, that's
he
this.
first come to our window.
Well, this doesn't really matter. He went to his team was involved in working in the rubble after
Yeah,
bombing
yeah.
and
That's where he ran away from.
they dig out for looking for people when they are dead.
That building.
Dead people or some wounded people or dead people that was their duty to
And he just
check out after bombing when a building was demolished to check out. And it was very hard and dangerous job because not only that, there was sometime bomb fell down and didn't explode.
Whoa,
Yeah, and if they start, disturbing, digging out, the bomb blew up, But nobody gave a damn, because they were, prisoners anyway. So that's the only way they could, check this old building. Well, as I say, I was going down the street, and I hear somebody from the rubble, calling me, Walter, Walter, Volodya, Volodya, Volodya. I turn around, look, I didn't see nobody. I figured who calls my name, somewhere out of a destroyed building, But so I didn't see really nobody. Then I started turn around and walk again. And he louder, Walter, Walter, Volodya, Volodya. So I stopped and turned around and went closer down there. And here I see a, skeleton come out from bricks down there. Yes, that's right. He was,
he wasn't so bad.
beer.
He's heavy built.
And I know he had,
Tall,
his beard wasn't,
lots of hair. That
beard wasn't shaved and tattoo,
that
and
uniform.
and a
He was run
uniform.
down, yeah.
And he was run down in
He come
the.
to our window and we look at him, He said, I run away, I run away. What are you gonna do? What we can do? He's outside, we inside. But he let us know he's run from. Then he met Walter.
And then I said, well, what are we gonna do? And he said, well, I don't know, can you help me somehow? Well, how I'm going to help very much. Then I can take him down there in this uniform with me because I have to go on a train.
Yeah.
He would, as soon as he gets on the street, and the cops will catch him and as an escapee from a concentration camp, he will be either shot or put in for Auschwitz there. So I said, well, you stay here. I said, I'm going to go to that metro guy. He lives only a block or 2 blocks away, and his building is not demolished yet. He still lives in that place. And I will ask him if we can come tonight down there and change the clothes and wash up a little bit and get you, safe. But I said, I don't know if he'll agree to take you in, because it was very, harboring fugitive. It was, in that case, the guy, all of us would be in jail.
No, batalya naman.
So, please. So that's what I, if you don't interrupt that, gee whiz. So that's what I went to ask that guy Mitro. I said, what? And Mitro, this friend of mine, knew Ihor a little bit, not well, but he knew who I'm talking about. I said, the guy that plays mandolin in our club and all that, he was arrested. He was in concentration for 6 months or 5 or whatever. And now he escaped and he's hiding down there, block away in the rubbles, and he would like you to come and change clothes. And he said, gee, that's a dangerous, I'm afraid. And well, I said, well, you have to help him because you can leave him down there, otherwise he'll be ending up in a concentration again or get shot for escaping, you know.
They live in private.
He said, you know what, okay, I'll agree, I'll take him in for a few days. Well, I said, that's all we ask you, to take him for a few days. I said, well, but there was daytime. I said, we'll wait till dark, because if you were in the dark, you couldn't see what kind of a uniform you wear. You know what? But I said, well, I'll go and after gets dark, and I'll bring him in here. No, he said, okay. So we got up. I went down there and called Ihor. He was still sitting in that rubble down there. Well, it took a couple hours or 3 hours maybe or whatever, but that wasn't a problem. But I called him and he said, yeah, what Mitro said. I said, Mitro agreed that you can come down there and change clothes, and we'll see what we can do after that. For he said he will agree to take you in for a few days. So that's what,
Yeah, but that time, let me say, that time Magdeburg already, bombed so badly.
I know.
They German all confused already. But Ihor, when he can stay with you, where he went? He went to that farm, Bavara.
No, this, just please. Yes, just please, just I'll listen and I'll tell you. No, it took 3 years, for Christ's sake. So it takes 1 hour in the 3 years. So that's not really big.
I'm interested in what you're
It's
saying.
not a big deal, you know.
Relax.
Yeah.
I know, but
No, there is I know what it was. So this is not the point. That's what I'm trying to get to it.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to it. We went down there to Mitro and he found up some clothes to change the clothes for him
I know that.
and all that, and I sort of gave him washed up and we gave him some food and all that, and he stayed there for about 3 or 4 days, maybe more. And Mitro said that guy, he said, I can't keep him anymore because people are going to get suspicious. Something, he might get in trouble. We all will get in trouble. So I said, okay, then I'll take him to our place. Once he's already, changed the clothes and sort of brushed up a little bit, clean up, so he can walk on the street and, sort of try to avoid the cops and all that. I said, we'll take him to where I lived, into this 6 kilometer away out of town, there's a little village there. We went by train. And there was no other way to do it, But in where I lived, and people that worked with me in that bolts and nuts factory, they all lived in there. There was about 25 people there in that little camp there. But we were free to walk out and come whenever, Nobody really checked that much, unless you didn't show up to work or something like that, then they were really look after. But if you were, going around and came to work in the morning, that was no problem. So I took, and there was other friend of mine, we took Ihor down to that village. And so we go to work in the morning, and Ihor had to stay in there. So where he's going to stay? He can stay in a room because the janitor comes around and checks out. So we said, well, you have to go under the bed and stay under the bed all day. You know, otherwise, you know, so nobody will catch you. When
Do you want some water or orange juice there?
when
I'm fine, thanks.
when people come back from work already, you know, some of them come early, some of them come later, then he can mingle, you know, he can get out and probably go to a washroom or something like that. But during daytime, he have to hide there because under a bed, you know, take a blanket there and practically hide there, just like, you know, in some kind of a, you know.
Really, там можна заховатись було, бо
But
12 people.
yeah, there was, you know, these the bunk beds, you know, sort of a double decker, and they were kind of high. You could, you know, lay down there, and nobody was checking under the bed because the janitor only came down there to around 4 o'clock in the afternoon to light up a stove, so it'll be a little bit warmer there. And at one time, Ihor got so cold, so he went and lit up a stove, and the janitor came down and who lit the stove, you know, but fortunately there was one guy that was on a sick leave that stayed home, and he said, did you lit the stove? And he said, well, yeah, I warmed that room up because I was kind of a cold. And so that went by. And then Ihor, one of the night, he went.
Where you have a party, guys.
Well, yeah, Ihor went up, you know, out, and there was outhouses there, and there was one sort of side by side, but one was for ladies, one was for, you know, men's outhouse. And Ihor, by mistake, got into a ladies, you know. And the girls that lived there, they didn't know about it, but nobody knew about Ihor. And they didn't know Ihor, they didn't know that he lived there, that he was hiding there. And they opened the door, and of course it was at night, and they started yelling, hey, somebody is in our outhouse, somebody is our restroom there, the ladies, who's that? They didn't know him. And well, everything got a big commotion, and the boss was.
He lives there.
The boss lives in the next house, you know.
Yeah.
And he was a really character. He never walked into our room without having a gun at the ready,
Yeah.
because he always suspected we'll attack him or something like that.
He was tiny.
Not that we.
but he was
We never had any intention of attacking him, all right? But he was so, you know, kind of paranoid.
He didn't have attention.
Yeah, and so Ihor kind of jumped out, and I said, and the girls, the second girl came out, and I said, keep quiet, don't yell, because you're gonna get us in trouble. And I said, just keep quiet. And well, they quit, you know, because they knew us already, that we were, you know, calling them down. Don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna, you know, rape you or anything like that. So so everything. The chef, this boss, came out and asked what's wrong. And we said nothing. You know, there's nothing really serious. And it was just the girls. So that was the incident with Ihor. So he stayed with us. Oh, he stayed with us for maybe.
Till I don't know how long.
He stayed down there in that condition, you know. But later on it was. I bet you he stayed there for about 5-6 weeks, in that kind of a condition, you know.
Як він опинився в Бауера?
Well, that comes next.
Але ти скоро то кажи.
Нічого, хай розказує нормально.
No, because він там був, потім він опинився в
Then he, you know, it got to the point that we couldn't even keep him down there already, because it was kind of suspicious, you know, that we could get, you know, but he didn't have any sort of a idea or anything. So we said we'll go to Magdeburg. Maybe you can find some kind of a job there.
Because that time Magdeburg, Germany always house. They don't really
They were
check
there.
you really.
The
who
people.
you are, where you come.
The war is coming to an end.
Yeah, there
war
was
come to end,
the
and
war
German, all
was.
those kind of confusion. There's a Bauer.
Farmer was on the outskirts.
Across our street where we live. He need the guy, and Igor went there and he said, "Yeah, I need help. I need
He had the acreage, and he had,
Acreage, and
and Igor said, well, Igor said, well, I came from some other town,
Yeah.
and
Bombed
the
there,
town
my factory already bombed there and
factory
things.
was bombed out. I'm looking for a job, and
Yeah.
so he didn't ask him too much of a
Because
question,
Germany already surrounded
And,
around with
and so he got that job
Americans.
there.
No.
And,
Allies.
Alliance, Highwood Alliance.
Well, don't call them all Americans, they're
They
Canadians.
was Americans that time.
Well, they're Canadians.
Anyway, and that's, yeah, well, Canadian, that's very French, I think. Anyway, that's when he started working there.
Uh-huh.
And that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
save our life, Igor, actually, when Nina and ours, because when we
And-
were working there, уже твоя история скінчилася. And
Whether you like it or
he, no, because he
yeah, Igor was already had.
working that Bauer, and we know Igor wasn't free. And then everything, then German came to our camp where we live, Nina and us, and it was 10 of us, were 12 girls. And we live in that marmalade factory, and we have kind of a room like whatever. So, and when American Alliance, how you say, coming to Magdeburg, they want all those.
No, the German wants to move this all
I said German wants to move us away from
from
the
American side.
American side or Russian side to the Elba Bridge. We live Elba behind this, and they already took all us on the line, and we marching us to one German guy ahead, another guy on the side, and we were kind of marching. And Igor was standing, and he see Nina and me and another girl, Raisa. And Igor, said, "Nina, come over." And he took Nina, and he took Bowery, that's my girl, and he took Nina from that line. He can't take me because, he can't take both. And Farmer
He can have two wives.
Yeah. No, he said, "That's my girl." And he didn't ask, not even Bauer. He just took Nina, said, "Nina, come on." And I said, "Nina, go, iди до Игоря." And us, they took us, father, ahead, and they're supposed to take us to
They
the
were
south.
marching them, they collecting people, when the German army was retreating, so they collect all these outlanders, the foreign workers, with them because they figured that they would be, have a control over them, So they marching them ahead, to a collection point, and then when they have them all collected from that area, then we're going to march them across the Elbe River to the side where under German control, because here.
This is Elba towards Hanover.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. They were.
No,
They were
Magdeburg.
Okay.
from Magdeburg. They were marching them toward Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the eastern direction, because that's Allies already pushed them further east to the, force them, force them to the, and they say that they were trying to blow them up on the bridge.
Yeah, that's what they did.
They say
Lots of
that.
them. They right that bridge, divide, through the you go another. They did blow up that bridge and all those guns. But one of my friends said, "Well, she did make it. She was alive. She's at home now." Anyway, that time.
Okay, I want to get this straight. Okay, you were all working in Magdeburg.
Yes,
The Allies are coming in from the west.
from west, right,
The Germans are
and
trying to move everybody
to the east
and
because.
the Germans are the ones who are marching them.
Oh yeah, Germans were rounding them up from the town there and marching them toward the Elbe River, to cross the bridge because they
It's
were.
like on Russian side.
This
I
wasn't
thought
a
the Elba
Russian.
River
That
was-
wasn't Russian
I
side.
thought
That
the Elba
was.
River was east of, or west of
It's-
Magdeburg.
Yeah, but we have some
No, Elba River was actually Elba River went right through the Magdeburg.
right through the Magdeburg.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right,
okay.
right. Magdeburg is on Elba River.
Okay.
Right.
It's actually, so we keep going. Nina already went to with Igor. I keep walking with another girls. I even have her picture. And it's dark. And those soldiers, they don't know town really. And they try to put us, take us, like a corner, like a,
Well, the column was marching this way.
like this.
And then they were turning
like
this
that.
way.
One German soldier here,
And one
another
other
one chose
on the
there.
front.
And that guys, nobody sees us. And that
When you turn corner,
Yeah,
you
blind spot.
blind spot. And that my girls with me said, Dusia, just get out from me. And I was scared. And she said, just we have to because they're gonna kill us. They collecting us in that house. They're gonna blow us. And I was afraid, but it was dark. We kind of jump. And there's a big hole from the bomb because blood's a whole bump. And we jump right on the Igor farmer
his
yard.
Property.
Property actually, kind of far, but it's there. And we sit in that hole for a long time.
and the column marched on.
and marching, keep
There.
going to that place. And but we
And
didn't
they were
wanna.
they're being marched east.
They marching,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
collecting us in one big school. And then from that school, they're supposed to be take us to that, through the river to that Elba, on that side. But I don't know what happened to those people because we left them.
You never heard from them.
No, we never heard of them. So we're sitting in that hole for a long time till dark. And Ryan, she said, well, somebody have to say, Igor, tell the Igor we are here. And she said, Dusia,
Where was Walter all this time?
Walter in town.
Out of
Oh,
town.
he was watching how a bombing in Magdeburg.
I was out of town and I was just,
And that-
we.
Angliski bombowali at night, American in daytime. They keep bombing and bombing and bombing. Anyway, so we went to I said, okay, I think Raisa went to tell Igor.
Whoever, that's
Anyway,
not.
went said, we are here in that hall. Boy, he was excited. He was so excited, but I don't know what that happened to that girl after that. This is blind. He said, come over, and he looked after me. But, oh yeah, Raisa said, I'm going to go to that, find them. I don't know what happened to her.
Well, that's
I
not.
really don't know, because Igor can keep us both. He took me, he said, I have to save Dusia, because if something happened to Dusia, Walter never forgive me, because he saved my life, and I'm going to save Dusia's life. And it was not that so easy. He have to hide me from that farmer and from hold that house.
She sneaked in,
And
sneaked.
he said Igor was under the bed. I was, German have a big...
That wasn't really that bad because you were under a big pillow there.
The dog, that in the bed, I was sleeping in bed and big dog, it's like a black, yeah, all day,
Okay.
and I was hiding there, not for, but that was already, Igor can't even work to do much.
You going to the director to say you could leave?
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, that bomb's getting so bad, and it was so house in Magdeburg. So Igor sometimes goes and look after the horses, feed the horses, things like that. And Nina works someplace a little bit, in the garden, things like that. And night come, we have to bombs coming, like we have to run to the bunker. To the how you call it? Bunker. It's not very far from that place. We realized it's a big bunker. Everybody hides. We ran there, and so Nina Igor can go there, sometime. But I can because if Bauer see me and all that. And one time was really bad. I was staying in that, and then I said, boy, they kill me. It's okay, but. And then one time start really, it's at end already. It's already said Magdeburg already you know, that's just they, all those high rank German took off all those and take civilian and hiding in that same bunker with us. Because American and tanks already closing. And last moment I said, Igor and Nina, you go to the bunker. Igor said, no, Dusia, you know what? If something really happened to you, Walter never forgive me for that. You come with us to the bunker and we'll stay there. If you stay there, I don't care if farmers see us or not. We went there, I never get out of there because it was so bad. And we were sitting there so hungry. And I said, Igor said, you know what? I'm gonna go and get some. There was no light, nothing already, just terrible. And Igor said, you know what? I'm gonna go get some food from Bauer. You know, he worked there, he can, but to have to, you know, hide from the bombs. It's falling like you wouldn't believe it. It's I don't know. I said that American it have no pity for us at all. Anyway, he sneaked to the farm and he said, I know that there have eggs. Farmer have lots of eggs there. I'm gonna bring some eggs. I said, gee, that would be good. So he went to we brought some about 10 eggs. We all happy. We all kind of happy we have eggs. Said Nina, me, and he was sitting. And he opened one egg and the little chicks in there.
No.
Boy, oh boy, that's true. It's really true. We were kind of laughing or
That was, you know,
crying or
surprise.
and it was Igor don't know what to do. He said, you know what? I said, Igor, you have to take back. The farmer find out it's no eggs and that chicken sitting and Igor said, I think I have to. So he took back. He took back eggs. That's all he had anyway. Well, that's no. He brought some kind of a little food there
I'm
and there.
surprised the chicken didn't.
Nobody think about food that time when you hear all that bombs. It don't take us very long. And what happened? It one night. It says that it's all over. We feel quiet.
They quit bombing.
Quit bombing. We get out from the.
And all the time I was about 5 miles out
And
of
he
town.
was watching how
And
not
we were watching, you know, how the bombs were, the airplanes come one after, you know, the
Yeah, but wait,
squadron after squadron dropping bomb down
And
there.
then,
And
you
I
know,
figure,
we
well,
said,
if nobody
let's-
is left alive down there in that city.
Anyway, we said, let's go to the home, you know, because he's still calling that farmer Bo. And I said, okay, but that lady, Bauer lady, she still didn't see me, you know. And after all that, Igor went to, I think, told a little bit, look after horses, things like that. And I went upstairs like the kind of an attic. I used to hide there. And there's a bed and table and you know, I was already sitting, you know, because I'm not afraid. It's already American here, whoever. And his American soldier came, and he speak Polish.
Oh.
He came to her house and asked her if you have any
Foreigners
Foreigner
working
here.
for you.
She said, yeah, I have Nina and Igor and all. And
Because they were
he
legal.
kept going up. And she said, it's nobody there. But he said, no, he wants to go. He opened the door, and here I'm sitting. And she opened her. Where you come? And,
Who are you?
who are you? What are you doing here? Oh, I'm not, you know, I kind of I'm not afraid. But I don't speak English. And he asked me, you speak, what language you speak? Who are you? I said, I'm Ukrainian. He said, I'm Polish. Oh boy, that's good. And he said, what you doing here? Start talking Polish, and I understand Polish language.
But he wasn't from Poland. He was
No,
No.
he's American soldier of Polish
Origin.
origin.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, how you come
How
here? I said, you know, I told him story, and he said, where you live? I said, through the window I can
Where
see
you
my
wa-
place
where-
where I live, where we staying. And
Well, you were working there.
Work, no, not working. We
Nobody.
staying. We
Yeah, I
live
know,
there.
I know, I
I
know.
work in shoe fabric, completely different place. And he said to me, that that lady or that boss was bad to you and all this. If he's bad, I'm gonna go and beat the hell of him. I said, no, that's okay. They were bad. They beat us like, they really one time
Treat us badly. Or,
treat us very badly and all that. But he said, I'm gonna kill him. I said, no.
And
If
they could
if
do it.
I said, I believe in God. Let him solve the problem. What he did to us, it's okay. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad everything is over. He said, that's the way you feel? I said, yeah, that's the way I feel. I said, that's about. And that was all war is over. Then I went.
war wasn't quite over
Not
yet.
over, Ale, for
But that
Magdeburg,
city was already liberated.
city already liberated.
Okay,
And
okay, stop.
Stop
Okay.
the liberation.